Let me start off by first saying I am a fan of Dr. Umar Johnson. I do believe that this man has a lot of wisdom to give to our people. But on this subject, I do not agree with Dr. Umar Johnson on. And so let's get into the video.
Gonna be back with a serious
We have a
conversation.
name for it.
Because
We have a name for it.
Okay.
The snow bunny crisis.
That's not
Okay.
racist at
I am
all.
against the snow bunny crisis. And I want your white listeners to understand. Because people be trying to say stuff like he's the black Hitler. I'm not the black Hitler. I am in no way interested in hurting or harming the life of any human, white, Asian, Chinese. I believe in respecting everybody. The reason I'm against interracial marriage, Envy and Charlemagne, is because marriage is an economic contract. It's an economic contract. Most
You
women
pause the video right there. It is not an economic contract. It's a holy union up underneath of the eyes of God. So if you're marrying for economic advances, then you're totally wrong. You're marrying for the wrong reason. Now maybe that's why a whole lot of marriages end in divorce.
do not marry down in status. They marry up. And if you don't believe me, show me a rich white woman married to a broke ass black man. Have you ever seen a rich white woman?
All right, I'm gonna pause the video right there real quick. I just got to say this: that TD Ameritrade surveyed, and from their survey, they say half of women make more than their husbands, or the same amount, either more or the same amount. Half. He just said the majority of women do not marry down. All right, show me a survey. Who you survey? I just read one survey, TD Ameritrade. Where'd you get your survey from? Let's check your resources. Fact check them.
Woman marry a broke ass black man. No, you have not, and you never will.
All right, hold on. Let me pause this because I had wanted to say this too just now. I know a lot of broke dudes that's just laying up in some female's house. When a female goes off to work, man, he's still in the bed. I know a lot of dudes like that. You know what I mean? I know you know a few. I know you know a few. You know what I'm saying? If you live in like an urban neighborhood or an urban city, Slim, where it's like a black population or you black and stuff, and what about your cousin or something? I know you know somebody that's laying up in some female's house that's loafing. I know you do. I know you can't convince me otherwise, man.
Because marriage ain't about love, it's not colorblind, and it is totally economic. So if marriage is an economic unification and a contract, how can we, who don't have enough already, give so much to the white woman and to white people who have already taken too much when we got all these black women out here who will never get married? Only one out of every four.
All right, let me stop the video right here just so I can say this. Like right now, he is focusing on the black man marrying the white woman. He's not speaking on the black woman marrying the white man. He's not speaking on the white man dating an Hispanic lady. He's not talking about an Hispanic male dating a Japanese lady or a Chinese lady or Asian, however the term is. I don't know. I don't want to offend though, but you know how it is. He's only focusing on the black man and dating a white woman. There are plenty other aspects to an interracial relationship, more so than a black man dating a white woman. Now, I will advise you to go and watch the whole hour-long interview that he did with the Breakfast Club because he did speak on the black woman dating the white man just a little bit. He just touched on it a little bit, and he goes on to saying that it's like comparing apples to oranges, but we're still talking about interracial relationships. Now, he's saying that there's more black men that date outside of the race than black women who dates outside of the race. That may be true. I did not bother to look that up because I just feel that it's a mute point. If you are against interracial relationships, you are against all of the interracial relationships. And he did not really answer this question to really appease me, only because he was just focusing on the black man dating the white woman. There's more aspects to an interracial relationship more so than a black man dating a white woman.
black women in America will ever taste marriage, and half of them who taste marriage will be divorced within 5 years. If you want to save the black family, you have to protect it. And in order to protect it, you have to be against interracial marriage. You can't say,
All right, to protect the black family. It sounds like he's talking about race purification. Black dating black men. I mean, black men dating black women. Black women only dating black men. That is some of the things that Hitler was trying to do. But when this video first started off, you were saying that people like to call you the Black Hitler, and you try to disprove that by saying you don't want to see harm done to anybody else. But your views line up with his views. I think that's what a lot of people is trying to say, and just hearing you say that just now, kind of made my screen crawl a little bit, man, because race purification it doesn't do good anybody any good, I'm raising three black kids, three of them. They got a white mother. They're black kids though. Even though they have a white mother, they're still black kids, all because the black gene is a dominant gene. And we are still here as a family, me, their mom, and my three kids that I have to raise. We're here as a family together, raising them. They identify as black. They're highly intelligent, way more studious than I was when I was in school. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't want to go to school, man. I was a terrible student. Terrible student. I didn't have all of these resources that we have out today. My kids is blowing me out of the water. You know, you'll hear about them in the future. Like for real, like you really will. I believe that. I will believe that you hear about my kids in the future, all because of how me and their mom are raising them together as a family. I am the head of this household. This is a black household, even though I have a white wife. I run this. You know what I'm saying? I preserve my black culture within my household. It doesn't matter who I lay down with, because I am black and I identify as black. My family is going to respect that, and they're going to fall in line. We're going to learn about black history and all the things of that nature. That's how I am preserving my race, by raising my three black kids up underneath of my household and teaching them about their African American history and where they come from.
I love the black family, but I don't have a problem with interracial marriage.
This is a black family
Interracial
over
marriage
here.
is eliminating the black family
It is
because it is
not.
not providing our women with enough available and able black men to be their husbands.
So you're
Now that's a different topic. There not being enough men available to marry, because again, men marry. So the marriage men, you got to cut them out of the equation. The gay men, you got to cut them out of the equation. The men that is locked up and in prison, you got to throw them out of the equation. And what's left are these women who had to, hey, I want my mate to make a certain amount of money. So you had to throw away a certain more of the population. They say, hey, I want my man to be a certain height. So you got to cut off some more of the population. They want a man to be in between a certain age group for their dating status. So if you're not in the age group, don't make enough, you're not a certain height, hey, it is what it is. And we're only 13% of the population. Come on. But that's a different subject.
It's white. It's not just white women. You just feel white women, Asian,
Everybody. Nobody should be marrying out the race because there's political consequences, DJ Envy. I'll give you one right now. Naomi Osaka. Am I saying her name right? The tennis sister.
Naomi Osaka, yes.
Naomi, I love the sister, right? She knocked off the greatest of all time, the GOAT, in Serena. But guess what? Who is she representing in the upcoming Olympics? Is she representing Haiti? No. She representing Japan. So here you have a half African sister. Excuse me, an African sister.
He was correct.
There's no such thing as
Half
half African.
African.
Our genes are dominant. So you got an African sister
Our genes are
with a
dominant,
Japanese
no matter who we
mother,
lay with.
and instead of going back home to your father's blood, Haiti.
He just said it. Our genes is dominant. So if I have a child with someone outside of the black race, have a baby, that baby is black. I raised that baby to be black and understand black culture and the culture of where their mom is from. That's not taken away from our culture. That's just enlightening that child on their heritage. Now, Naomi is half Japanese because her mother is Japanese. Do not knock the little girl's mother just to try to fit your narrative of her being 100% African just so you can say you're against interracial relationships.
To represent the Africans in Haiti, you're instead going to represent the Japanese who've never done anything for black folks and are part of the Trilateral Commission with the American white power structure, but who...
Okay, now that is true, you know? But dig this. Her mom didn't do nothing to black people, but lay down with the man that she loves, okay? Now, all of that stuff that he had just said has nothing to do with an interracial relationship. That's just big words and smart talk just to try to derail you and throw you off and get you looking over here for a second. But that really has nothing to do with an interracial relationship. Okay? Political consequences? No, I haven't heard of one yet.
Taught her to play tennis? Did her Japanese mother teach her to play tennis? Or did her black Haitian father teach her to play tennis? Her black Haitian father taught her to play tennis. It's the African DNA. It's the African ancestors in that girl that's responsible for her tennis success. But instead of representing us, she's going to go represent the Japanese. Well, this is what you got to deal with when you make mixed race African children.
I think listen, hold on, baby. I think her case is a little different, though, because she identifies fully as a black woman. She definitely does.
So if you identify fully as a black woman, Charlamagne, why is she not representing Haiti?
I get it, but that's
let me stop it.
Let
me stop you right there, Dr. Umar. Excuse me, I just burped. Why isn't she representing Haiti? Well, the Olympic Committee will not allow you to represent a country in which you are not a nation, the Olympic Committee will not let you represent a country in which you are not a national citizen of. She's born in Japan. She can represent Japan. She moved over here to the United States of America to live in New York with her Haitian grandmother when she was 3 years of age. So either she's going to represent Japan or she's going to represent America. She's not going to represent America because when they first started learning how to play tennis, they went to the tennis committee or the United States tennis team or whatever have you, try to get into their facilities, trying to get formal training. They said, no. They told her, no, not over here, you won't. So they started training amongst themselves. She started to become prominent, making a name for herself. Then the U.S. team was like, hey, come use our facilities. We want you over here. Now, by this time, you already told me no. I'm not going to you. You just want me because I'm good now. No, you could have had me, but you chose not to. So yes, she will represent Japan for that reason.
She's putting her money in the black causes. She puts her money in the black organizations. She got a black boyfriend. Like she stands up for black causes.
See what Haiti going through?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
So do you know what?
I don't even know if Haiti got a tennis team, so I don't know, to be honest with you.
Oh, let me
they don't have to have one. She will win the whole thing.
They don't have to have one. So again, the Olympic Committee is not going to let her play for Haiti. She's not a national citizen of Haiti. And I'm glad Charlamagne has said he don't know if Haiti has a tennis team. Well, they don't. They don't. Hasn't had one since 2013. So how can she play for a nation in which the committee won't let her play for because she's not a national citizen of, and they don't even have a team? Like what are you going to do? You going to make them have a team? Just so you can be like, oh, she's not representing Haiti. Her. No, that's not how it works, Dr. Umar. You need to have a team first. They got a team and she don't want to play for them, and she was a national citizen of that country, then yes, I would say, by all means, you are right on this subject right now. But because she is not a national citizen of Haiti, she can't play for Haiti. That's just what it is. And they don't have a team. So you can't play for a nation that you're not a citizen of, and they don't have a team. That's too much stacking up against Haiti for this girl to play or not play for them. It's just not enough. It's not there.
But here's the point. If you look at the political situation that America and France has Haiti in, that they've been in since the Haitian Revolution of 1791, if you look at the fact that the children are being raped, robbed, stolen by whites, if you look at the fact that America and France have sabotaged the Haitian economy and the Haitian society, if Naomi was to represent Haiti one time, she can go back and represent Japan next time. But if she was to represent Haiti just one time, it would shine a light on all the injustices that the U.S. government and the French government are inflicting upon our brothers and sisters in Haiti, and it will demand from the international community some answers and some changes.
Now, that may be true. It may not be true. But again, she is just a tennis player, right? From the prestige that she has gotten thus far, right? She can speak on it now. She can say, hey, there's injustices in Haiti going on right now, and still bring a light to it. If all you want her to do is bring light to this subject, she can still bring a light to this subject. Just not giving her a chance. She has done more social work than her due diligence. She is an above average tennis player doing above average social work for Africans and African Americans alike. Give this girl a props, Dr. Umar.
She has a chance to almost rescue an entire nation of people, and she won't do it because she won't go into the Japanese blood. Then why she not doing it, brother?
I'm not saying she hasn't. To be honest with you,
she hasn't what? She's not representing Haiti.
She has not represented Haiti, but she speaks out against so many black issues. She probably has spoken on Haiti.
What better way than the Olympics to speak out on social issues? Well, what she's doing now is better because the Olympics only come once every 4 years. So once every 4 years, you're going to hear this girl say, oh, we're being treated misfairly. No, we need more than that. What she is doing right now is more than enough. She's doing what she is supposed to do for her dad, for her mom, for Africans and African Americans alike.
I don't know.
Charlamagne.
But I do see her speak out a lot in regards to black issues.
Okay, but until she speaks out for the Haitians and until she do something significant for her father's people who are responsible for the talent that she got, her father's people, her father who...
Well, okay, so her father's people, let's say her father's people, not her mom's, right? Just her dad's, only her dad's, and her dad's it, that's it, are responsible for this little girl's success in tennis. There would be more successful Haitian tennis players. Now, from what I was able to learn, is that there were three prestigious male tennis players from Haiti. One of them had a record of 221 wins and 250-something odd losses. The next guy didn't even equal that amount, but he still had more losses than he had wins. And the third guy had more wins than he had losses, but it was only 6 wins to 5 losses. That's the contribution to tennis that Haiti gave us, the world, was those 3 men. And they disbanded their tennis team in 2013. So if it's her father's people that are responsible for this girl being successful in tennis, we would have seen more successful Haitians playing tennis. I've seen more successful Japanese players or tennis players than Haitian players. But I'm not even going to give the credit to the bloodline. I'm going to give the credit to Naomi because that's where the credit belongs to. This little girl's dedication to focus and mastering her craft. Okay, now her dad, if his bloodline is responsible for this little girl's success, her dad knows nothing about tennis. Well, now he does. But when they first started, he knew nothing about tennis. His only experience from tennis was watching Serena and Venus. He studied their forms and things of that nature, and he trained his daughter to be successful as they are. And here we are today. A half Haitian, half Japanese Naomi Osaka playing great tennis and doing great social work for Africans and African Americans alike. We need more people like her.
Taught her how to play tennis in the first place. If it wasn't for a Haitian father, Charlamagne, she wouldn't be in that position. Show love to Haiti. The point that I'm trying to make.
Look that up, Dan. I'm asking the white man to look something up.
I got you.
Oh, yeah, because I'm sure I'm pretty sure I've heard her speak out against that.
But the point I'm making is if she represented Haiti in the Olympics, here's what I'm saying.
You see, like Charlamagne, rebutted that very well. He heard it. He probably knew that it was true. But then when you hear something that is true that goes against what you're saying, you can say, okay, but what I'm saying is, and then go on back into your rhetoric of how, you dislike interracial, of how you dislike black men dating white women. It's not the fact that you don't like interracial relationships. You just don't want to see a black man dating a white woman.
I mean, you can't take a small, soft act of activism and try to use that to replace a major, significant act of activism.
A small act of activism. Come on, man. It's not a small act. What she's doing is not a small act. Donating money, donating time, speaking out on issues is not a small act. A small act is just saying something in a news clip, like he's later on going to try to say. And when he says this, he's just trying to diminish the hard work that Naomi has done so far.
You understand? Making one or two news bites during the context of a press conference is not the same as representing the Republic of Haiti on the international stage.
She's done more than news bites.
Even if she said something, I don't care about that. You had a chance to represent.
He said, even if she says something, he doesn't care about that. He only cares about Naomi representing Haiti playing tennis. No, that's not how we get the job done, Dr. Umar. And you're a psychologist. You know better than this. You know what I'm saying? This is just feeding that fuel that, hey, I don't like black men dating white women. It's not about interracial relationships. It's just about black men dating white women. Nah, Dr. Umar, that's not how we advance as a people. It's not good for our people. I'm gonna need you to go back, read on Dr. Martin Luther King, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna need you to go back and read that Bible again, brother. Inclusivity. You know what I mean? We have gained too much traction to try to backtrack now and just go backwards. Too much traction. We have gained too much to try to go backwards now. We got a long road to go still. It's going to be trying. It's going to be a hard road. You know what I mean? We got hills and potholes in this road. It's not going to be easy. It's not paved smoothly. You know what I mean? But what he's saying right now, it goes against what we need. We don't need that.
The people who are responsible for you being who you are, and you chose not to do it. I'm not knocking her. I'm a fan of her. I want to be clear.
Knocked her all
I'm
the way
not knocking
down.
my sister. In fact, I would probably have more criticism for her father because I want to know what you put in.
Criticism for her dad. A man who raised a prestigious tennis player. A man who raised a woman who is speaking out on social injustices. You would knock him. That's not what we need, brother. We need, like, even if we disagree, we just need to have a sit-down conversation on the things that we disagree with. And at the end of the conversation, we still might not agree. We may still disagree. But you just don't need to knock a nigga because you don't agree with him or you don't agree with the method that he is raising his daughter. He is in charge with raising his daughter, not you, Dr. Umar. He is. All right?
That little girl that has her running to Japan instead of Haiti to represent them in the Olympics. Here's the point I'm making. When you have mixed race African children, these are the types of issues you're going to have to deal with. Because until African people get out of situation.
She was born in Osaka. She was born in Osaka. So that's
why she has to play for them.
Can I ask you a question, Envy?
Yes, sir.
If a European Jew is born in Africa and he plays tennis, is he going to represent Africa or is he going to represent Israel?
Probably Israel.
Thank you. So
all right, so he asked the right person that question, DJ Envy. He probably don't even know nothing about how the Olympics gets down, right? He's a hip-hop interviewer, okay? Now, again, if that European Jew is born in Africa and don't move up out of Africa, and whatever sports that he is playing, he's going to have to represent Africa playing that sport. It's just what it is.
It ain't got nothing to do with where you're born. It's
does.
where your loyalty is.
It's not about loyalty.
Until black people get over.
Definitely not about loyalty. It's about where you're a national citizen of. If you're a citizen of Africa, then you're going to play for Africa. And Judaism is a religion.
Organized, fellas. Many of our mixed race children are going to identify with the other race because they're doing better than we are.
Well, maybe she'll hear this and take what you're saying into consideration.
She will. I'm not knocking her. I just want y'all to show. I just want y'all to see it does not benefit the black community to be having all these mixed race babies who are not loyal to us. I have nothing against mixed race. They are fully African, in my opinion.
I was going to ask you that. What do you think?
I have no problem with a mixed race African. I judge all black people. I don't care if you're from Africa, because I'm a Pan-Africanist, so it's all one family for me. I don't care if you're in the Caribbean, Brazil, Europe, Australia, the continent, Canada. Two things. Are you biologically black? And are you psychologically black? And when I say psychologically black, do you identify with your primary race?
Naomi does.
You understand?
Yeah.
So if you are psychologically black and you are biologically black, I treat you no different. I don't care if you high yellow with green eyes or blue, black, purple. I don't get into this color game because I think part of the petty differences we have as a people is we over accentuate this light skin, dark skin, nappy hair, straight hair thing too much. And it's killing us. It's the blood. The first color on this flag is red for a reason. It's the blood that makes you African. So I would never mistreat a mixed race African. But I'll tell you one thing, I'm going to make sure they understand you will not perpetuate the snow bunny crisis.
Oh, my God.